So, you know, when you gave me this title, I had to chuckle because it's such a great tease. Three things all Catholics need to know right now. Boy, what an intriguing title.
Well, I think it was more directed at three things new Catholics need to know right now,
Okay.
because we just had people join in the church. But what I want to say is applicable to all Catholics, but especially new ones.
Yeah, because I work with RCIA and I know how, non-Catholics, they're kind of stepping into a whole different world. And as cradle Catholics, we really don't appreciate, the beautiful new discoveries they're making, but there's also a lot of things that they're not aware of and not really sure how to get into this Catholic thing. No,
You want to talk about a couple of these things? I got three of them I'd like to bring up
absolutely.
and see where these go. So the first one is this. This is, again, three things new Catholics need to do right now. And I would say all Catholics too. First one is celebrate. You know, we don't always do enough of that, I think. And when we see God doing something amazing, we need to celebrate. It's part of our faith. I think a lot about the second joyful mystery, the visitation. And I look at that as a party, to be honest with you, where Mary and Elizabeth come together and Elizabeth exclaims with joy, "Who am I that the mother of my Lord should come to me?" This is a beautiful thing. And I think that and John the Baptist leaps in her womb. This is a celebration at this meeting together with the Blessed Mother and this little party that they have there, a worship party. It's awesome. And I think as people who are coming into the church have walked through so much to get there. I mean, becoming Catholic is not like becoming virtually anything else. You don't just show up one day, drink a cup of coffee with the pastor and eat a donut in his office and sign a piece of paper and you're in the church. You have to go through a lot. And many converts talk to me about the struggles that they have endured, both within like the programmatic part of it, all of the classes they need to take, RCIA, to things that they have to do in their marriage, to relationships that are affected, to sacrifices that they're made. And many people, Gary, bail on the process when it gets really hard. But the ones that persevere and stick with it and want it so badly that they'll sacrifice anything to get it. And when they finally arrive, now is the time to celebrate. They've spent so much time dealing with naysayers, dealing with all of the obstacles, dealing with all of the pain and the work. And there's a time and a place for that. But when you come into the church, I think that there needs to be an incredible time of celebration. I was talking to a friend of mine who has been through that, and he told me, he said, after the Saturday vigil, they had a reception for us downstairs, and people were so excited that we were coming into the church. And I love hearing that. I love when people in churches celebrate when new folks are coming in. So I think that's number one.
Yeah,
We have to take those victories, don't we, Gary?
absolutely. Yeah, in RCIA, we have a retreat right before Easter, and we have a roundtable discussion about your journey, kind of reflecting on the journey. And it's amazing how candidates and catechumen, the spiritual warfare they go through, things that we aren't even aware of, that just getting up every Sunday to go to RCIA is a battle. So you're absolutely right. I mean, once you've come into the church, it is a time for joy and celebration.
It's no joke. And I think sometimes we can get so focused on, okay, here's what I have to do, all the work, all the work, all the work. And yes, we should. But, Jesus attended a wedding. Jesus talks about the feast in heaven as a banquet. There's a lot of imagery of that. The prodigal son, Luke chapter 15. There's, Revelation. There's all the wedding supper of the Lamb. I mean, there's all of these things that invoke celebration. And you have a lot of battles to fight if you want to join the Catholic Church, from outside and inside. And sometimes you just have to give yourself permission to be joyful. And I think that we, as people who are part of the Catholic Church, we need to make a big deal out of that for converts. We need to welcome them in and be so excited. One of my friends I was telling you about said all week long after I came in, people were calling me and texting me, telling me, welcome home, congratulations. They were sending me gifts. They were sending me cards. He goes, I never expected anything to be like to any kind of reaction like this, because it's not what we're used to in other parts of the faith. You know, when you join another type of church, I mean, in ministry, when people would join the church, they would stand up and there'd be, you know, people, they'd take their vows to church, people would clap, and then that was it. You know, you didn't really talk about it ever again. And for some people, that was the end. And I think that when we talk about Catholicism and joining the Catholic Church, that time to celebrate is huge. You'll have your time to deal with all the other stuff, all the negativity, all of the arguments, all of the, like I said, the naysayers. But give yourself some time just to rest and celebrate. You've done a lot of work. You've gone a long way. Now there needs to be time just to savor it in and relax for a minute, I think, anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And as you know, I mean, that is such an important part of your life journey, and you only experience it once. So like, if you don't take that time and you don't celebrate in the Lord, you know, years from later, you won't have something you reflect back on and say, wow, I remember, you know, how joyful it was that Sunday that I came in.
Yeah. Yeah. And that what an example that speaks to the world too, isn't it? When we get so excited about something, everybody wants to know, well, what is it? Why are we so fired up? Why are we so excited? You joined the Catholic Church. Why is that a big deal? Well, let me tell you why it's a big deal, you know, and then you can just let people know. So be filled with joy and celebrate. So that's number one.
As you were talking, what kept going to my mind is like in Exodus with the where the Jews are going through the Red Sea and God destroys the enemies, and they get to the other side. And if I was in the Exodus, I would maybe like say, whew, you know, thank God that's over. Maybe I'd fall to my knees and thank God. But in Scripture, what happens is they all break out into a song. You know, it's just like this huge celebration that occurs. And so you're right. It's part of the DNA of God's people that, you know, when you reach these important junctions in your spiritual walk, you know, it's time to break out in song.